So I'm here to tell you the greatest story that was never told in the history of bourbon was about a woman. This episode is going to be about her and about featuring an arrangement that is about women. Hello friends, welcome to Blossoms and Bourbon. My name is Mark, I'm the owner here at Creative Occasions. Welcome to my workroom. So yes, first and foremost, Mary Dowling bourbon. Gotta tell you the story about this woman. It's a great story. She was an Irish immigrant, married to a gentleman who was also an Irish immigrant. He owned a distillery. They became investors in another distillery. She became involved in the leadership of the company. Prohibition happened. So of course, their operations were shut down. Mary had the great idea to move the distillery to Mexico. So they moved their production to Mexico and the distillery so they could continue to produce whiskey during the Prohibition. Smart woman, you gotta love that, right? At one point she was having difficulty with financing, so you know what she did? She started her own bank. You gotta love this woman. I mean, this is just a great story. So please investigate this. This product has actually been introduced by the owner of Rabbit Hole, and the Rabbit Hole Distillery is one of my favorite distilleries. Their products are all great, and now I like this one. This is actually called Winter Wheat. It's a wheated product. There's no rye in this at all. It's got kind of a fruity, nutty kind of overtone to it, which is really, really nice. So cheers, I hope you enjoy this. It's good. All right, so I have this amazing container here at the store, which is obviously a female face. And so we're going to create an arrangement in this container that will sort of be homage to Mary Dowling and what an amazing woman she was. So we do have a little bit of, as you can see from the camera over me, some chicken wire that's been tucked down into here. That's going to work as our mechanic. This container is great for water resource because it's open all the way into the base. So you will have water all the way down in there. So there it is, Jason, I'm done. We want the hydrangea to sort of be the mechanic also, as well as the chicken wire to kind of hold things in place. I do want this to be kind of like she's wearing a really fun like hat or something that's got this sort of asymmetrical line to it that goes up on one side and then perhaps cascades down on the other side. We might need to trim a little of the hydrangea to get it out of Mary's eyes, but anyway. Yeah, please go online and research that bourbon. That is such a cool backstory. And the bourbon's good too, so, there's that. Beautiful, lush, open garden rose. That's just gonna be an important element right in the front. When I'm working with any flower that's going in this arrangement, I wanna be sure to strip any of the foliage that's below water level. So these, because this is above water level, I kind of like the essence of that foliage that's a part of the stem. So let me just flip that around so you can see that. So I kind of like that movement that foliage provides. It's not going to impact the longevity of the arrangement because it's not below water level. So that's an important element. Remember, just to be sure to strip any foliage off that is below water level. Beautiful tulips. These happen to be Dutch tulips. They were flown in from the Aalsmeer flower market, and they're just spectacular. One of the things that lots of florists have as sort of a love-hate relationship with tulips is that they kind of have a mind of their own. Once they're in an arrangement, they do tend to grow in length. Tulips are the only flower that I know of that do that. They actually get longer. They also are phototropic, and what that means is that they follow the light source. So these tulips will eventually start to go up if the light's above them. If the light's out here, they'll follow the light out here. So it's really kind of a fun and interesting thing that you just can't predict what tulips are gonna do. So you just have to kind of let it go and let them be themselves, like your children, right? Beautiful sweet peas. I think these sweet peas may actually be South American. I just love that sort of soft, ruffledy edge of sweet peas. And what I'm doing with the sweet pea is kind of creating a sort of a basing, like ruffles, almost like fabric or texture or something, that's gonna kind of help to disguise the stems of the tulips. Because I don't feel like that looks really feminine. So for me, I want this to be a little softer. I want the look of the tulips there, but I don't want that tulip stem. We couldn't do an arrangement about women without peonies, right? And so what I'm doing here, obviously, is creating kind of an L shape. And this area right at the front is the focal area. So this is where your attention first comes and is first drawn to. It's also the place where visually there's more weight with these flowers. They're bigger flowers. They look like they have a little more weight in the arrangement, and certainly they do. So it helps provide stability, so it doesn't look like the arrangement's going to tip over. You've heard me talk about that before. Laura was great pulling all this material together for me, and she said, what do you want in these arrangements? And I said, I don't care, just surprise me. So when I pull the bucket out, I won't realize what's there. Look at this. Look at this. Holy moly. So I'm totally going to take this peony out. And I'm going to put this one in because this is what needs to reside right over the top of her face. This variety of peony is called Coral Sky. That's just spectacular. Do you really need to do anything else? No, but we're gonna. In most scenarios, when you're considering, like if you're planning an arrangement and you're thinking about the materials that you want to use in it, in most scenarios, the arrangement should be 1.5 times the height of the container. So here's the height of the container. We're at about here, I'm guessing, with 2 times the height of the container. So roughly 1.5 times, I think we'll be good with that. That's a rule that most people follow. It's a great rule. I like to break the rules, of course, but I think in this case, that's probably good, especially with this kind of container. Just a little more softness down here around her face. And this is called astilbe, one of my favorite things. It grows locally in our area, and it's just a beautiful, it's a very fragile flower. It doesn't hold particularly well, but it is lovely. Okay, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. It's got this nice clean line, so there's not a lot of fussiness about it, which means I'm gonna stop soon. I do remember being in a seminar or a class once where a designer said, it's important to know when to stop. And you can always keep adding things to a design, and that's fine. But it's also important to know when to stop, because sometimes less really is more. So I might do a little something back here to kind of finish off this edge. Maybe we'll do one of those fun curly Q leafy things that I like, but just a little something to kind of have as a finishing edge back here. Yeah, can you see what I did to that? I kind of tucked that into that hydrangea because it was just like hanging out. It just didn't look right. But that's enough finishing back there that I think it'll be okay. We've got one more of these beautiful peonies hanging in there. So to fill in a little bit back here, and also if you're looking at this arrangement from somewhat above, if it were on a table, you want something to kind of pull your eye through the arrangement also. So that's what that bloom will do right there, kind of softening the edge of that hydrangea a bit. Frankly, I'm really happy with that. So I'm gonna stop there. I hope that you'll remember to like and subscribe to the videos. Be sure and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified of new content. Get thee to the store and buy some Mary Dowling. It's a great backstory. We need to support this amazing woman who had such an important part in the history of bourbon. And so, until next time, cheers to you and to flowers every day. Thanks for joining.